Welcome back once again. Back to Primal, YouTube channel, Facebook page, facebook.com/back to primal, or subscribe at youtube.com/it's your health UK. Today I'd like to talk about abundance, about living in abundance, what that is, where we may not live in abundance, and topics sort of around it, but we're going to try and keep it quite short and sweet. So first off, what is abundance, or living in abundance, or with abundance? It's I suppose a spiritual concept, although it does run through a number of religions and so on as well, although I'm not personally religious. I was raised Christian, but I would say I'm more of a spiritual persuasion these days. Living in abundance is very simply being much more aware of, I suppose, what you do have than what you don't have. Now, we can go much deeper into it than that, and I don't claim to be any kind of spiritual guru or anything like that. But for me, living in abundance is definitely reveling in what you have. As Western society, we're very good at thinking, I haven't got what that person's got, rather than looking at all the positive things we do have in our lives. That can come down to the want and need for money. It can come down to a current situation that we're in. I definitely personally have found that by doing meditation, Tai Chi, and obviously trying to work on certain spiritual practices, I think started to find it much easier to live in an abundant mentality. And actually, the one thing that seems to link with that is happiness and contentment and just overall positivity. It's very easy for people to say, have a positive mindset, don't be negative, but it can almost take a retraining of the brain and of the mind. I give you a bit of an example. Most of Western society live in a scarcity mentality, so the worry that there's not enough of everything. So that person's got a bigger house than me, therefore I need that house, or that person's got that gadget, so I have to have that gadget. Why haven't I got that gadget? Some of these things can be very superficial, very materialistic. Some of these things can be more applicable directly to our lives and how we want to work and so on. But the one thing that I kind of believe abundance breeds is, as I say, happiness and the attraction of other people who have the same mindset and feeling of you, of being abundant. And I just found in my own life that's just created a network of close friends and family who are so positive and supportive that they don't try and talk each other down when something goes right. They're really happy for them. And you may look into some of the spiritual concepts or the notions of vibrating on the same frequency, and that's kind of what that comes down to. But it can be very hard to try and live in an abundant mentality. If things go wrong, then it's very easy to focus on the thing that's gone wrong rather than looking at all the other things that have gone right. And so for me, it's kind of been over the course of about 2 or 3 years, I've started to sort of, in my own daily routine, not to worry so much about what other people think, but also what other people have. Am I happy within my own life? What have I got in my own life? And every day, a good technique can be to visualise all the positive things you do have, visualise where you want to be, but don't necessarily hang your happiness on being in that position, because really being truly abundant in life is being happy with where you're at this current moment, and whatever comes from that is just an addition to that. So to give you an idea, there's a book I've been reading, not so much a spiritual book, but it's obviously within the topic I like. It's called The Primal Connection, and in it he actually mentions about living in abundance rather than scarcity mentality. And he says one of the great things to do to sort of start to appreciate the smaller things in life, to raise that percentage of things that you should be happy for and blessed for, rather than just focusing on the things you haven't got, is to write a gratitude diary. Now, I normally do this in my head every day, and when little things happen, I try to appreciate them, acknowledge them, and go, wow, that's a fantastic thing. But what I've done is I actually wrote down over the course of 5-6 days things that in that day I was happy for. Some would have been the same thing each day, and you'll probably pick up on those as I go through. But just to give you a bit of an idea how so many things in your day can actually bring you joy, you can be grateful for. And when you start writing them down, you actually see how much you do have as opposed to what you don't have. And the kind of stuff you don't have really starts to sort of fade away. And when you're constantly telling yourself, wow, look at what I've got, really works on that mindset. And I think it hopefully makes you a nicer person to sort of be around, and a person you want to be around, as well as a person you want other people to be around. We're never always going to get on with everyone, but we need to get on with the people that we're around. And I think being calm and considerate is much better than arguing with people all the time. So to give you a bit of an idea, day one, I wrote down, I woke up and I was very thankful and happy for my family, my parents, my brother, my girlfriend. Very lucky to have those people in my life. Some people not so lucky, so that's a huge one. If you've got any of those things, you're a very wealthy person straight away. My close friends, or what I would call in a primary instinct, my tribe. So the people that I can rely on, the people that I know, even if I don't see them for a year, the next time we meet up, it's like we've never been apart. And they're what I kind of call my tribe. They're my close knit friends. And now I've got my good friend Steve and his other half Anna, my good friend Mick, who lives in LA. We stay in contact, but I don't get to see him as often as I would maybe like. So I'm very thankful to have him in my life. A lot of our self-improvement and spiritual things we did together. My friend Mehdi, who I probably see once every 3 years or so, lives in the middle of nowhere. And but when we get together, it's just like we haven't been apart. And that's something that you really can't take that for granted. That's worth more than any money that someone could give me. That's a true connection. And so I miss you, brother. But I know when we next meet, it'll be awesome. My good friend Laura is one of my best friends. She helped me through some, I suppose, down times in my mid-20s, and that will never be forgotten. She's an awesome person. And my good friend Paul Smethurst, who I'm hoping to do some retreats with for you guys. And he's a great friend, but also a good colleague who has similar mindset with health, with nutrition, with training. So always someone I can bounce ideas off, and that's why we aim to work together and hopefully bring you a great retreat. Also, I'm thankful for my circle of passionate friends, my friends who are passionate about health, like I am, always keep me on my toes, always give me new advice, and point me in the direction of new great material. So I've got Henry Howe, who's currently studying to be an osteopath as well, Troy Casey, certified health nut. Met him on one of my courses, and he's got a real good direction in that he just wants people to be healthy, and also Ollie Herman Taylor, lingering human being. He's another one of my colleagues who is just like myself, keeps me on my toes, keeps me passionate, want to do what I want to do. So that was day one in terms of they're probably the things that go for every single day. But also on day one, this is where we get into the smaller things, my inspirations. So my parents, biggest inspiration in my life, worked their butt off when I was a kid, and I think seeing them have to struggle for everything they've got just spurs me on to work hard every day. Paul Check, I think Paul Check is a guy who's followed his passion. He's again just trying to bring people information that can allow them to lead a healthier life from the base up, from the foundation up, and that's the key. I mean, we're all going to suffer with ill health, I would imagine, at some point, be that from a cold to hopefully not, but maybe more serious things. And the more foundation you've got of health, the more chance you've got of fighting these things when they occur. So he's a great inspiration. Eckhart Tolle, spiritual guru, really centered me reading a lot of his work. And a chap called David D'Angelo, who back in my 20s with my good friend Mick, we studied quite a lot of his material just to gain confidence, just to find out where we were as men and as human beings. And I definitely put a lot of my growth stemming from there, so I have to be thankful for his inspiration. Thankful for my reboot breaks when I get the chance to go away. It's touch wood, I'm creating a life for myself that allows me to put those reboot breaks in and not just get stuck in the rat race. So I'm always really thankful when I get that 4 or 5 days off just to go and chill in a sunny climate, Portugal usually, and just experience other cultures and so on. I'm very thankful for work in my clinics, my patients and their loyalty. I'm really thankful for their loyalty every day. It's really quite mind blowing when someone is prepared to sometimes maybe come and see yourself for your opinion because they value it the most out of everyone they speak to. Now, sometimes that might mean I've got to go, actually, you need to go and speak to this consultant or this doctor or whoever. But just the fact that they have that kind of loyalty and that kind of confidence in me I'm very thankful for that. Just checking on here. People's interest in my page. So you guys just following the page means hopefully I've got a little bit of an audience that I can say these things to, and if one person can take on one thing and that improves their life, then it's worth doing. So I'm thankful for that. My Tai Chi and my Qigong. Been doing Tai Chi and Qigong for about 4.5 years. And along with nutrition, if there was one thing I could get all of my clients to do, it would be to work on calming, on their yin energy and really getting that balance between yin and yang. So Tai Chi and Qigong, huge aspect of my life now, and I'm finding the more I benefit from it, the more I'm doing it. So my ability to attain high quality food, through studies I've done and people who have taught me great things, just knowing the importance of clean food. People will argue that maybe sometimes organic's a myth or this, that or the other. I personally don't feel it is. I believe that the better quality and closer to wild you can get, the healthier root and base foundation you're going to have. So I'm grateful for that knowledge and for sort of having the option to find out those kinds of things. Health and exercise. I'm grateful for my health. We never know how long it will last. I believe if you eat well and look after yourself, hopefully longer rather than shorter. But my ability to sort of get up in the morning, I've had injuries before and I know how debilitating they can be, and just so every day that I get up and I can move, I'm really thankful for that, and that's an abundant feeling. I could, every time I get injured, just go, oh no, I'm injured, there's no point in going out and doing anything, or I can focus on rehab and think I want to get back to that ability to move well and move free and pain free and so on. Education. I think education is massively important. Often can be taken for granted when we're younger. I actually am thankful for the ability to teach myself, because it's great that we have an education system and I think it can give us a fundamental. However, I do encourage everyone to teach themselves and educate themselves. Pick a topic that you like and go and read around it, and you'll find that it just links out into so many things. My passion is health and exercise, but that goes into politics and that goes into nutrition and that goes into farming techniques, and that it goes all over the place. So although my passion is health, you'll just find there's so much to learn. So I'm thankful for that. Music. This is all in day one, remember. So music, I was in a band for a while, but music can affect your emotions so much, and just being able to lay down and change how you're feeling with a song. It's fantastic. My luxuries. Now people might say, oh, is that not scarcity? Hopefully not, because I try not to crave other people's luxuries. I'm thankful for mine, although they're not essential. So what I'm saying there is you can be abundant in what you have, but it doesn't change you as a person. So, for instance, I'm lucky enough to have a pretty comfortable, nice car to drive, but if that car wasn't there, would it change who I am? Hopefully not, because it's almost like an external factor of who I am. It's not me. It's something I use to allow me to hopefully follow my goals and get around and do more, but it's not 100% necessary. I could maybe use the train, or I could cycle, or I could do whatever else. But I have those things, and I'm happy for those things. I'm grateful for those things. Sleep. Some people can't even fall asleep at night. So, I'm thankful that, touch wood, most times at night I'm able to fall asleep, sleep through the night, wake up feeling rested. Occasional times I don't, but I think that's quite normal. Generally, I get to sleep well. When my girlfriend isn't punching me in the middle of the night. And that's because she sleep moves. Tea. My friend Steve will understand this one, but I'm thankful for my tea. I don't drink fizzy drinks or alcohol or anything like that. With my juices and my water and my tea, that's all I need, and a good cuppa will go a long way. Chocolate, my one vice, or my main vice, it's my thing for me, part of my 20%. Very thankful for that. The sun, when I get away in the sun, really makes me thankful for it. It brings a lot of life, a lot of energy. I feel like I heal when I'm in the sun. And actually, because sometimes in England we're not in the sun a lot, when I get out there, you really, if you're prepared to feel it and listen for it, it's really beneficial. But I'm also thankful for the seasons. So can you see how it's starting to become abundant? I'm thankful for the seasons. Here in England we get the change from cold to hot to rainy and I think that temperate environment, that varied weather is actually quite vitalising, because you're always sort of aware that the earth is changing and everything's changing all the time, so kind of embrace it if you can. I was sitting in and it was cold outside, and I was thankful for my heating and the ability to be able to sort of heat my house. Big topic here in England at the moment, because everyone's fuel prices are going up and some people really finding it a struggle. So I'm thankful for being able to heat my house, keep me and my other half warm. A clean water supply. Again, through my checklistic lifestyle coach course, became very aware of the water supply. It's clean, but I now have I've installed a water system for drinking water and cooking with that is a much cleaner filtered water, uses a reverse osmosis filter. And again, I'm just thankful for that clean water, cleaner than clean. What else have we got here? I said shelter already. People sharing knowledge, thankful for people sharing knowledge. For travel, being able to travel around and see other countries and other societies. I'm thankful for new experiences, so I always try and get out there, and if someone can show me a new experience, that's fantastic. Conversation, deep conversation, I'm much more stimulated by that than the standard here and there. And I'm an introvert, so or introverted psychology, so I do prefer to sit down with maybe one or two people and have real in-depth conversations. I'm also thankful for being individual and making my own choices. A lot of people often say, oh my god, what have you got on your feet, or why do you want to do that when everyone else wants to do this? I think you've got to be thankful if you're an individual and you can make your own choices as long as they're ethical and moral. So I'm thankful for that. And I put down here, and not having to be popular through my choices. So hopefully some of what I say for you agree with. Some you may not, but that's what we're on here to do, is to discuss and figure out what's good for our own lives. Something that might be good for me may not be so good for you. And I'm thankful for books and reading. So that was all in day one. So you can see I was putting a lot down in day one. Now a lot of those things will go over my head every day. I realised that as I was writing this. So on day two, I put down I was thankful for waking up next to my girlfriend after 5 days apart. She's cabin crew and she'd been flying, and so I hadn't seen her for a number of days, and then there I was next morning, she was next to me laying there, and I was thankful for that. I was thankful for my morning filtered water. Must have down my pint of water and enjoyed that. I was thankful when I got to work for a full patient list. Having worked for 12 years, you go through the phases of having very quiet days, and so I was thankful to go in and touch wood, more and more it's becoming a fuller list, which is I'm very grateful for. Feeling well after a flight, because I'd recently got back from a reboot, and I was feeling quite well, and actually flying sometimes can hit me quite hard, so I was feeling grateful for that. Feeling hydrated and recuperated after the break. Felt like I'd recharged the batteries. And then when I came in that day, hugs after a long day at work. So I got in and my half gave me a big old hug, and again, really thankful for that. That was a great feeling. And then I was thankful for bed because I was tired. Day three, my morning poo. Sorry if that's a bit of an overshare, but for me, when that happens, it's my bowels are moving well. If my bowels are moving well and I'm getting my healthy gut working, then it's exactly that. It means my bowels are working okay, and hopefully there's no disease going on in there. Believe me, if you're not going at least 12 inches, but about once to 3 times a day, passing about 12 inches total, of healthy, non massively smelly feces, then it could be constipation. So you may need to get that checked out. So I was thankful that I wasn't constipated. Thankful for my morning cuppa. Was thankful that there was no traffic on the way to work. Makes the journey much smoother. And I was also thankful for a good workout, because I had a great workout that day. Obviously with the other things as well that I'd already said, with parents and so on. Day 4, I was thankful I had an early finish. So I finished a patient early. And my girlfriend flew to Japan and she got there safe. So I was thankful for that. I was thankful on day 5 for having goals. So setting up these retreats with Paul. And also I was thankful it rained, and I was thankful for the rain, because we need the rain as much as we need the sun. And then I missed the last train. I was out doing some work with Paul, my colleague, and I missed the last train that stopped at my station and went to the next one. And I was thankful for having the ability to run home from that station. It was about 2 miles. Ran home in about 12 minutes, but with a bag on my back, and I didn't have to think about it. You know, my body was working. It wasn't like, oh, I have to pay for a taxi or anything like that. So I was thankful for that as well. Day 6, not drinking, waking up with a clear mind. Basically, I don't drink alcohol, so I'm thankful when I wake up and I'm not hungover. Well, maybe friends are. Not having the urge for fast food anymore. When I was in my 20s, I used to have quite a lot of fast food, and I don't even have the urge anymore, and I'm thankful for that. You know, there's no craving there at all. I see a fast food joint, I'm normally like, ooh, you know, can we go anywhere else? So I was thankful for some time alone to reflect. So, you know, as you can see there, I mean, that's just 1 week. And if you start looking at your life in that way, if you start seeing how much you do have, I mean, that makes me a rich person. That makes me an abundant person. Yes, other people may possess something I don't have. They may have, you know, a massive house, or they may go away on 6-star holidays and this and the other. But does that change my life now? No, nothing to do with me. My life, I'm thankful for those things. I try to live it abundantly. What I would say to you is make yourself a gratitude blog. Have a look at your own life and see all the good things in it. And yes, it's easy to look at what we don't have, and it's easy when something goes wrong to go, oh my God, look what's just gone wrong. A bit like last week, touch wood, it doesn't get any worse, but we had storms, and half a tree came down in front of my house, which I've been asking them to remove for years, and they were telling me it was safe, and I was saying I don't think it was. But luckily, I'm grateful that it didn't actually hit my house. It's fallen in front, and now I'm waiting for them to come and clear it up and hopefully take the tree down. But I'm grateful that it didn't hit the house. So, you know, be thankful for what you have, not what you don't have. And hopefully you'll start to live abundantly. Hopefully you'll realise how rich a number of us are. If you're not, then I hope that the issues that you have that are affecting you at the moment do clear up. But try as you might, try and live abundant. If we're all living more abundantly, we're all going to be a lot happier, and hopefully we're going to be a lot more successful. So look after yourselves, be primal, but most importantly, be abundant. Take care.